last night, our Brian Windhorst emails me, and he's talking about how crazy it is that there's no real way to recognize this, right? Because of the year that James Harden's had, you kind of have to give him MVP. And I have to tell you guys, I almost dropped my phone. I was so excited because I got to type in back, aha! Are you, Brian Windhorst, coming around to my campaign that the NBA needs to do what the NFL does, needs to do what hockey does, and have 2 awards, one for best season, which would of course go to James Harden, and hey, one for just who's the best player in the NBA. And Brian said,
Rachel, last year when you were doing this, I supported you, but I really wasn't invested in it. But I supported you. I can't in good conscience not vote for James Harden for MVP. He meets all the criteria. He absolutely should have my vote. But I am having difficulty with not honoring LeBron James some way. And I would also look back. He's not going to win the MVP this year. It will have been 5 years since he won his last MVP. And he has been the best player in the league over those 5 years. I don't think there's any question about that. How can we, as voters, how can we look at ourselves in a historical context and say that we have not given LeBron James an MVP in this 5-year stretch? And I have to agree with you, Rachel. I have to say we need to have 2 awards.
oh my God, wait, I'm sorry. He wasn't on camera when he said that. We got to replay it.
This goes back to when Michael Jordan played. Michael Jordan could have got MVP every single year for his last 10 years in the league.
That is the point.
And the same thing we're seeing with LeBron. I mean, his MVP, these numbers are crazy. They could be MVP worthy any given year, but he's went up against historic seasons. You got to understand, 3 years ago when Steph, they won 73 games. You're dealing with his stats and the 73-win team. Last year, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double. This year, James Harden has just been out of his mind playing. So, I mean, James, he's in the conversation every single year. I mean, look at the stats, don't lie. But when you got guys putting up huge stats and putting up more wins, it's hard not to give it to these other guys.
This is what we do in the NBA. We're progressive, and we say that when there's something that needs to be corrected, we say that.
You just want to give LeBron all these awards.
No, I can't.
Listen,
if I voted for LeBron for MVP, I would get eviscerated.
In any other year, these numbers he's put up over the last 3-4 years are MVP. But like I said, he's went against historic seasons. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I think the key point here, and Paul, I do hear what you're saying, and I hear that a lot. Oh, you guys just want to give LeBron a bunch of awards. You brought up the Michael Jordan point. That is kind of the point. Michael Jordan was a transcendent, dominant player for such a long period, and it wasn't marked by the MVPs. LeBron James has been a dominant player and has been getting better maybe in this last couple years. That is not marked by the MVPs. So the system doesn't seem to be set up to sort of recognize who is the best player in the NBA. And again, other leagues have done this. The NFL says who's the best offensive player, who's having the best offensive statistical year. The NHL, who's got the scoring title, and that's different from who is the best player in the league. The NBA needs to not even be progressive, catch up on this.
Right.
I mean, right
and
now,
say, hey,
like James Harden is the best player right now. I mean, he's leading the league in scoring.
If you were on the playground and you had to pick one guy to win one game and be in your pickup teams and all the NBA players were there, would you pick James Harden over LeBron James right now?
I can't pick James Harden or LeBron because LeBron is a proven winner.
There we go.
You know, until James gets to that level, I mean, of course it's LeBron. Of course. I mean, I'm going off his track record. He has 3 championships.
There you go.
This
is not a participation trophy. This isn't just let's give out more awards because we feel bad. This is, hey, these are 2 different things here. We are talking about 2 different things. To lump them all into one award doesn't make sense.
I just feel like I defend my votes for Steve Nash for when he won MVP. I still feel good about those, even though people say this. 10 years from now, when people say, how did LeBron not win an MVP between 2013 and 2018, I'm not going to have an answer.
Yes, you are, because you're going to look into the camera and say,
I think we may need 2 awards.
Woo! I'm knocking them down one by one, people. Zach Lowe, you're next. So last night, our Brian Windhorst emails me, and he's talking about how crazy it is that there's no real way to recognize this, right? Because of the year that James Harden's had, you kind of have to give him MVP. And I have to tell you guys, I almost dropped my phone. I was so excited because I got to type in back, aha! Are you, Brian Windhorst, coming around to my campaign that the